A while back, I did a video on the history of the Claptrap unit. And from that video, which if you have not watched, you can go do so right here, it gave me the idea to talk about the other bot in service to the Hyperion Yellow. Because as we should all be aware, there is another bot, a better bot, a bot that is a load better than the Claptrap. Pun 100% intended. The Loader Bot, a staple of Handsome Jack's corporate empire. To be honest, I don't think they really need an introduction. We are all accustomed to dismantling loaders from our time playing Borderlands 2 or the Handsome Jackpot. But while we know them, while we are well versed in how to beat them, not many know the history behind the Loader Bot and how they became so prominent, and so today we are going to remedy that. Today we shall go over everything we know about the Loader Bot. But in order to get the gist of the Loader Bot, we have to go back way before the thought of militarized killbots was on anyone's mind. We have to go back to the founding of Hyperion, because it is very important as to why the loader gained so much traction with the corporation. So when Hyperion was founded, the business was divided into 3 distinct divisions led by 3 distinct individuals. The most important one for this video is Hyperion's Artificial Intelligence branch, the division responsible for the creation of the Claptrap, led by one Lawrence DeQuid. Like I said, under his command, Hyperion created the Claptrap, an AI companion that was supposed to help and support its owner in any way it could. That didn't happen. The Claptrap unit basically did the opposite of what they were coded to do, and if you're familiar with Borderlands, you know exactly what I am talking about. But they did have a fix being produced by DeQuid that would see the Claptrap become actually useful. But then DeQuid died. He died without completing his work, leaving Hyperion to desperately try and discover the answer to fix the Claptrap, but to no avail, damning the general purpose unit to be this useless creation now and forever. And it was because of this that by the time we first set foot on Pandora in Borderlands 1, the conglomerate responsible for unleashing the Claptrap upon the Borderlands had all but given up on robotics, believing that the idea of a properly built android was far too much of a hassle to be viable. But that all changed when the Lost Legion made a direct assault on Helios, the heart and soul of Hyperion's rise to power in the Pandora system. Now, the Lost Legion's attack on Helios is chronicled in Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I recommend playing it if you haven't already, but all you really need to know is that the Lost Legion managed to capture Helios and turn its almighty space laser against the moon of Elpis in hopes of preventing Handsome Jack, who was just Jack at the time, from opening the moon's vault. Following the capture of Helios, because he is a hero, Jack devised a plan to ensure that Helios would be recaptured and Elpis would be saved. To fight an army like the Lost Legion, Jack thought that he would need his own army, an army that could be instantly deployed into the field with the touch of a button. And so, by himself, with absolutely no one's help whatsoever, Jack located an old droid facility on the surface of Elpis. It is there that our hero met a man named Gladstone Katoa, a Hyperion researcher who had been quietly working on a special type of robot that can produce other robotic soldiers in a near instant. Jack, being the programmer that he was, immediately fell in love with the idea and directed his vault, or directed himself toward aiding Gladstone and completing the man's project. Taking advantage of the facility they were in, Gladstone directed Jack toward the many pieces needed to form the bot's body, and once the shell was complete, all that was needed was for an AI to operate it. Luckily enough, it just so happened that Jack, still by himself mind you, no vault hunters needed, had the luck of finding a special military grade intelligence from the remnants of a Dahl frigate while on his his way to the factory. This AI came to be known as Felicity, and she would be chosen to enter the bulky body of Gladstone's creation, becoming the first ever rendition of the Constructor. Taking advantage of Hyperion's own Digistruct technology, the Constructor was able to replicate, duplicate, and print dozens upon dozens of androids from almost nothing. And these soldiers would take on the form of, you guessed it, the Loaderbot. Now, to backtrack a bit so I can put a disclaimer, this is not where the loader was first invented, nor even created. For example, we can actually see various loader bots present on Helios during the opening for the pre-sequel, which is an event that takes place long before the Constructor's creation. And I held off this fact because the origin of the loader as a machine and not a Hyperion asset is never actually told to us. But something we can note, using numerous pieces of dialogue from the pre-sequel as an example, the loader is brought up in conversation as if it was already a robot well known in the corporate universe.
Yeah, bro. We'll just need to finish putting the hardware together. After that, install a military-grade AI and pow! It should pump out combat-ready loaders.
Way ahead of you, man. What do you think old Felicity is here for?
Do I not get a say in this?
Sure, yeah, whatever makes you happy. Just make my loaders deadly.
No one really bats an eye to the word loader, so that tells me that the bot already had a long history well before the events of the pre-sequel. However, while its exact origin is still unknown to us to this day, during our time building the Constructor, we can find various schematics and blueprints of the Loaderbot model as we explore the old doll facility. This implies that the loader's origin might possibly come from the Doll Corporation, as they were the ones who once owned the factory used in the Constructor's creation. Either way, wherever the loader came from, the loader and Constructor combo was unleashed against the Lost Legion and was so successful for Hyperion that the loader soon phased out the Claptrap unit and became a staple of Jack's corporate empire when he took over. The introduction of the loader and the Constructor was also the spark of genius needed to completely reinvigorate Hyperion's AI department. And so, over the next little while, Hyperion began producing various types of loaders and sending their constructors all over the galaxy to enforce the corporation's will, Pandora especially. The unit also received a model update just prior to Jack's murder, which we can see and fight in the handsome Jackpot. This model, compared to the old, moved the eye from the side of its body to the center and reinvented the design of its shell. It is also the only model seen being built in a factory. Now, is there a reason for this? Well, I do not have the answer, but the Jackpot was built to be a last resort for Jack, no pun intended on that one, so having droves of loaders already built in case of emergency isn't all that bad of an idea, especially if no constructors are available. If anything, loaders shown to be constructed by normal means only further cements the idea that the loader predates the constructor in a history that is not yet known to us. Maybe one day we'll figure it out, but for now, we just simply do not know. If you have any questions or comments about this video, Borderlands, or its lore, you can leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to read each and every one of them. Thanks for watching, and remember well.